Smooth as silk. Hello, cheeseheads, and welcome to the Cheese Room podcast. This is Brendan, your host for the show. I'm back after a week and a bit off. I was in Sao Paulo last week, getting drunk with the Irish Consul General, watching us smash the goons. Joining me to look back on what has been probably one of our best weeks, certainly in recent memory, and look ahead to the final game against Norwich where we screw it all up. First up is Davo. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, really good, really good. Nervous, but good.
I think I read that Spurs fans are the only ones that don't think they're going to beat Norwich. Well, everyone else is like, oh, they've got it. We're just like, nah. Oh. Also joining from Toronto is Sean Williamson. How you doing, mate?
Not bad, brother. How's things down the south?
Well, good. Yeah. It's nice and hot here. How's it up there? I know you love the weather. Talking about the weather, mate.
It's not bad today. Not bad. It's spring. It's spring in Toronto. It'll be 15 Celsius one day, 25 the next, and back and forth. So you just get used to it. Right now, just trying to be cautiously optimistic for the weekend.
I noticed that your second team is Rangers, and they are currently drawing with Eintracht Frankfurt. So if you do jump up and strip off naked, we do know that you got that second goal. Also joining from South London, Mr. Paul Muir. How you doing, mate?
Oh, mate, buzzing. Arsenal get battered everywhere they go. Everywhere they go. It's just, this is what it feels like. I kind of remember this a little bit from the early 80s, like, kind of FA Cups and the such like. But what a time. What an absolute time to be a Spurs fan. It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing.
Indeed, what a week it's been. I certainly enjoyed the Newcastle game against the Goons a lot more than our game against Burnley on Sunday. I did not enjoy that second half against Burnley at all, but pretty much the whole game against Newcastle, I was enjoying. Davo, were you able to watch that game over there in Oz?
So the Newcastle Goons game I had on the background because we're doing a YouTube show at the same time. So it's kind of like because I was like in Caller's future, but also in Caller's past because I'm 9 hours ahead. But the delay on the TV is about 30 seconds. So when he's going, oh, they've scored, the Geordies have scored, and then 30 seconds later, then I was jumping up and down, very excited. I mean, the Geordies were really at it. They were really at it. They were up for it. They weren't lying down or anything like that, and that's the kind of portent of next season because they're going to be very active in the transfer market. I think Eddie Howe has bought very sensibly in the window. He's bought players who were going to get them out of trouble. If you remember QPR a few years ago, they spanked a whole load of money on like Christopher Sambor and this, that, and the other, and they went down and left with a massive wage bill. So they've been sensible. As for the Gooners, I predicted before the start of the season, and I said it again in November, that I thought the Gooners would finish above us this season. No European football. They went out of the FA Cup. First week of January. All they've had is this for 5 months. All they've had is this, and I think there's some Gooners have been commenting on the fact that they should never have got rid of Aubameyang. That Arteta should work with the difficult personalities for the good of the team, at least for this season, and it's come back to bite them. So it's been an amazing week, but I just have this, I just get the job done, and then I'm going to large it. But we're not quite there yet, but we're nearly there.
Yeah, what a difference a week makes. Like this time last week, we were 4 points behind. And a bit worried, like, as if Arsenal had won that game, I had confidence we'd still do them in the North London derby. But had we not, had they got a lucky pen and sat back, they'd be there already. Like, so yeah. In a week's, it's just gone completely the other way, and it's been superb week. Sean, how have you enjoyed the last few days? Did you watch the Newcastle game, and what did you make of Arsenal in both the North London derby and against the Magpies?
In the North London derby, I was kind of surprised the way they capitulated in the end. They were all complaining, dodgy penalty. All right, whatever. It's 1-0. There was still almost 70 minutes to go. You had a lot of time to get back into the game, and Holding, who's been warned, 2, 3, he was warned twice, carded once, and then dragged Son down. And they're looking like, well, that shouldn't have been a red. Well, no, probably should have been a red. Two fouls before that. And then they just folded up like a cheap suit. And like if they lose that game 1-0 and they play tight defensively, maybe they go to Newcastle and think, all right, it was one game. We'll do it here. But then it looked like they went to Newcastle and just still were playing the same way they did on Thursday. You know, we didn't play great against Burnley, but we had, 2 days to get ready? They had basically 4.
Yeah.
They go there and play like they were the team that had the 2 days off. And this, from what I was watching the Toon game at work, it just looks like they just didn't really get into it. And this realistically was the game. They win that game. They go to the weekend the opposite of us, right? You know, we're still a point up. You know, we just match their result or do better and we win. But it looked like complete lack of leadership. It looked like we did back at the beginning of the year. And I think it was HG tweeted, this is a perfect example. We started the season, we won 5, lost 5, we fired our manager. Their last 10, they won 5, lost 5. Arteta gets a new contract.
Yeah, Paul. On the Newcastle performance, I think they've given a blueprint on, as did we, on how to play against them. You press them hard, you don't give them space, you choke the midfield. They haven't got the characters in there. They don't. And Newcastle, they played well, but they weren't spectacular. But to me, watching that game, it never really felt in doubt. You kind of first half went in 0-0. You're like, well, Newcastle played well. They carried that on second half, and they'll probably nick a couple of goals, and that's how it panned out. And Arsenal just didn't have any answers. It was, I'm not saying it was surprising because we know they're dog shit, but it was just, it sets the trend for Fat Frank to go there at the weekend and do them as well.
There's no leadership on the team, and the only time any leadership was shown was Xhaka, but that was in the post game interview. He should have been behaving like that during the game and getting in people's faces and barking at them and tell them to turn it around. But
I'm fed up hearing about this kind of Arsenal's youngest team in the Premier League. Franco brought it up on the pod the weekend, and other people on social media, Jamie Carragher, Gary Neville, Martin Keown, these kind of like these pundits. If you're good enough, you're old enough. Rooney's shown that. Ollie Skip's shown that, for example, off the top of my head. Okay, so I don't subscribe to this idea that Arsenal, their age is got anything to do with it. It's lack of leadership, as Sean has just quite rightly said there. For one, Arteta is out of his depth. They've given him a 5-year extension.
5-year extension.
A 5-year extension they've given him. Okay, he proved with talent. By its very, very definition, is hard to manage because they don't fit into. You have to like find a way. You have to find a bridge to like work with talent, and he didn't do that with Aubameyang. He shipped Aubameyang out as soon as possible. He had all the problems with Aubameyang getting caught in traffic and his Lamborghini like turning up late and unauthorized trips abroad, etc., etc. Yeah, you could see that Arteta didn't have full control like a Conte did, or even a younger manager like a Potter at Brighton. I know he hasn't got the bigger team, but a lot of their problems, I think, have stemmed from just his complete lack of being able to change his fundamental ideas. He hasn't molded his tactics like Conte has. He hasn't looked, this is my players, this is how I want to play. I will now kind of like meet a kind of happy ground. Arteta's gone in, this is the way I want to play. Okay, and if it doesn't go that way, I don't have a plan 1.5 or 2, a plan B, C, D, E. That's what's found them out. Yes, they got injuries, but Newcastle absolutely rolled them over. They were still shell-shocked from us on the Thursday. You could see that. Yeah, you really could see that. They were still kind of like mentally bruised. I think G-Nev called it brutalized, or one of the guys on BT called it or Carragher. But yeah, I mean, I watched the Geordie game, and yeah, if you've got a dodgy centre back who's been on the sunbed all week in Ben White, all right, you are gonna. And if I'm Callum Wilson, I'm gonna run beyond. I'm gonna test his hamstring, and he just bullied him. He tapped him on the head like a little 12-year-old and just said, "Look, you're getting nowhere this game." Yes, they had bad centre backs and fullbacks, and one of them went off, but still. They were never in that game with the Geordies. You could see in the first 15-20 minutes they weren't confident. They were booting up in the air. They can't string the passes together. Their goalkeeper was making rash decisions. He nearly got a simple 5-yard ball charged down. Yeah, they were never in that game, and what a shame.
Yeah, what a shame.
I mean, but if you look at the context of the Goons, though, they finished 8th last season. So they're going to finish, well, please God, and all the rest of it. Sorry, no blasphemy. Finish 5th, right? They're going to go from 8th to 5th. So that's a pretty good season in the context of where they were. But because they had it in their hands to get 4th spot, I think psychologically they will obviously view this as a disappointment, right? You know, I did say a few weeks ago after the Brentford game that we'd blown it. I did say it after United away that we'd blown it. And then we did pod together after the Villa game when me and Paul and Franco. And I said, we're good. This is good, you know, and then and the momentum, we lost it again. So it's been a real topsy-turvy season for both teams. They have shown a lot of inconsistency, both teams. But I just think that with Arteta, they're showing a bit more patience with him than they showed with Emery. But a lot of Gooners said the football under Emery was awful. He wasn't cutting across to the team. But look at what Emery's done at Villarreal since he's gone there. So, you know, they're in a world of pain still. They're still dealing with life post-Wenger, like United are dealing with life post-Fergie as well. When you've got a big personality who's kind of really running all aspects of the club, and that's where they are. So, you know, it's a real shame, and I'm crying my eyes out for them because we've all grown up in years when there's been dominance by them and we've been rubbish. The Gorgeous George era. The early Wenger era, and where our attempt to get a foreign manager was Christian Gross. So, you know, hopefully we get the result on Sunday and we can all enjoy the moment, and I will be if we do it.
Well, if you look back, because I just had a picture that somebody sent me the other day, March 15th, they were 6 points up on us. They were in 4th. We were in 8th. They had better goal difference by 7. Now look at where it is.
And a game in hand as well.
Yeah.
I think it was a game in hand.
Yeah, that's right.
That was 14th of March as well. So the swing
2 months ago, really.
Yeah.
So monumental. It's a monumental failure by Arteta. They're not getting the Champions League next year because, as Davo mentioned, Newcastle will probably buy again. Eddie Howe's begin to find his feet. There is the makings of something quite big up there in the northeast, which is good for the league. It might not be great for us, but it's bad fucking news for Arsenal. Excuse me, it's bad news for Arsenal. They're not getting the Champions League for a while, and it's massive because they need to strengthen and go out and buy players. But never mind.
You just look at it. You figure Chelsea, City, and Liverpool are going to be there again next year. Yeah. United's going to spend like a drunken sailor on shore leave to get back up there. You know, Newcastle's going to spend money to get up there. Hopefully, we're going to spend money to be up there. It's going to make things very difficult. You could finish 6th or 7th in the next 2 or 3 years and have had a really good season.
On that, Davo, I think that we have to tip our cap to the stewardship of the club in getting Conte in, because it's him. And I know that we can look at other things, but he has got that team galvanized. He's got us playing well. He's got there's a togetherness. The on and off the pitch, he has transformed us. So are we going to give credit to the guys upstairs?
I love.
Go on, Dave. Go on.
Come on, Dave. You want to do it?
I think Brendan, Franco, Caller, you all get together and you all go, right, things are going well. The stewardship of the club. Let's ask Davo the question. Don't ask. Let's bring out old Winnie. Let's bring out Eeyore from the corner of the party room. Eeyore, Enoch, and off he goes once more. Okay, so here we go yet again. I feel like a Groundhog Day. As I was discussing with Sean in the green room that us cheeseheads have before we come onto the shows where we're sipping on our cocktails and eating our canapes, I was discussing the fact that this was Enoch's last throw of the dice version 4.0. Okay, they didn't do the deal in July to get him over the line, and we were all excited at the time that Conte was coming in over the summer. And for whatever reason, maybe he wasn't happy with the salary, maybe he wasn't happy with the number of staff he could bring, maybe he wasn't happy with the transfers. And those were all being discussed in the media at the time. And the deal wasn't done, and we got Nuno. Okay. Roll it to United at home, which was a kind of one of the real nadirs of the ENIC reign, where there were Levy out chants in the stadium. It may not have been all 55,000, but there was I did hear it on my telly over here. It's not just my brain wanting that. I did hear it. And we were in a truckload of trouble. The transfer window was more about cutting the bill of the salary in the summer. And Nuno wasn't performing, and we had real problems. So so the Levy's negotiation position with Conte was worse. It was on his hands and knees to get him in, and we got him in. I went to a Leeds game in November, which was a great experience. Great to go to a first game in a few years. And to see Conte on the touchline, he's our coach, was quite a surreal moment for me, and a beautiful surreal moment. But now, in terms of this, as Caller said, bless him, when we did the show, when Conte came in October, November, you got to hand it to Levy. He knows how to rectify a mistake. Well, he's had a lot of practice rectifying mistakes over 20-odd years. So I don't call that a ringing endorsement. But to finish off is this a rant or a monologue or a soliloquy?
This is a rant.
Is it a rant?
Yeah.
If it was Shakespeare, I should have done it in iambic pentameters. So just to finish off, and as I was saying to Sean in the green room, as I was sipping our cocktails before the show, that we're now back in Poch and Redknapp territory. And what I mean by that is that no one thought Redknapp would get Champions League when we got him in. We was about staving off relegation, and we got Champions League the following season. Poch's aim at it was in the Brave New World book that Poch, the target was for him to get Champions League of the second season of the new stadium. So he's well overachieved. So now our ownership of our club have now got to show ambition in the transfer market and buying players who are at the peak, like the 25-year-olds, your 26-year-olds, not your Papa Sars from Metz, not your Brian Hill, none of that. We need to buy fit-for-purpose players. Some I think we should get in from the Premiership with Premier League experience, and some from the continent. Because to finish off, and obviously let everyone else have a word, Chelsea in the summer are going to be looking for central defenders. So are we. Man United in the summer are going to be looking for central midfielders and central defenders, and so are we. So there's Newcastle. So we are competing in the transfer market where we need to show ambition.
Go on, Paul.
You say that Levy should be. I'm not sure about Levy being congratulated about finding. What I would say is that just as like we going to compete for players in the transfer market, I think we would by the clubs for Conte. I think United would have gone for him eventually. So I believe that Levy needs to be given props, as we say here down in South London, about maybe moving quite quickly and getting him before another club went and then got him. I think it's very difficult if you're a manager at a top 5, top 6 side and you've got someone on the market like Conte, because there's no room for wiggle out. There's no wiggle room. You can't make any errors because this guy can come and replace you straight away. So I think that Levy moved quickly. He moved decisively after the Man United game when I was at that game. There were people pissed off, and it was about 5,000 to 6,000 to 8,000 people were pissed off and making a lot of noise. So I think to answer your point, Brendan, that Levy should be congratulated for moving that quickly and that decisively.
It was a leading question for Dale, yeah.
I know it was.
But sticking with you, Paul, on Conte himself. I mean, he's winning me over. After the Burnley defeat, when we lost to them away after doing City, and he had that weird hissy fit where it was just like, dude, what are you doing? You're talking like you want to leave. And he's come out recently and explained more about that, about carrot and stick. I still don't get that analogy, but he's winning me over. The Conte Cam staff, he's got the passion, he's got the players on board as well. How are you feeling now with Conte?
I love him. I genuinely, he pisses me off. He's an arsehole in press conferences, but he's our arsehole. We know what we're going to get now, all right? But let's be honest. Let's be honest. He is. that you can't argue what he's done. You can't. I coach. I try and make people better on a day-to-day basis, right? It is fascinating for me to watch someone like Antonio Conte take what was massively underachieving and try and get a tune, and then add two players in Bentancur and in Kulusevski, two very smart players, okay, and take us from where we were to and where we were when he came in, and the low ebb of the team and the way we were playing, to where we are on the cusp of. We haven't done it yet, I know, but on the cusp of doing that. Yeah, I love watching that journey. I love watching the evolution of the team. It's all not, no progress is going to be linear, is it? It's going to be up and down. And we saw that in that horrible week when Southampton just swamped us, and when Burnley, and Wolves, exactly. And those 3 or 4, 15 billion losses to Chelsea in January, February when we were losing. But that was the downside. But the upside is, to answer your question, Brent, I love him, and I love watching him drag us all the way to something very, very good.
Sean, how's your feeling on our Italian maestro? What's the general feeling out there in Toronto as well? I know Toronto Spurs, I'm assuming you guys have been getting together now that COVID's pretty much passed. What's the general vibe on Conte out there?
I think most of the people here really like him. Again, under Mourinho, it was hit and miss, and it seemed more miss than hit. Same thing with Nuno. I think what you've seen here is you've seen a progression slowly but surely over time, where each month has been a little bit better than the previous month. They're getting better. You see a plan. You see the players executing the plan. You see the players have bought into the plan. And as Paul said, that's the biggest thing. Once you get the buy-in from everybody, and everybody knows what they need to do, and as soon as somebody gets on the pitch, they know what their job is. They know what Conte expects of them. You've seen just how much of a difference has Doherty, Sessegnon, and Royale been under Conte. Are they world-class wingbacks? No. But they know what their job is, and by and large, they've executed that job. It doesn't mean we shouldn't improve and find better ones, but those are that to me is probably two of the biggest spots. And again, the emergence of Romero and Kulusevski. Everybody knows what their job is, and people are going out there, and who's ever brought in, they know what they need to do, and they do it. And that's the biggest thing that I've seen, and I think everybody here has seen, is the buy-in and the belief.
Yeah, very true. And that's, you can see that with players that have been used as scapegoats. Emerson Royale, for example, has been a scapegoat a lot of the time through this season. Rightly so in certain times, because he hasn't played very well. He does look quite nervous, but as we said, he's been playing out of position. But it just shows the benefits of good coaching. And we've seen that with Ben Davies as well. Where is the weakness in our squad? Of the 11 that started against Burnley, where's the weakness? Sessegnon's playing blindingly these days. As is well, like Bentancur is a bit hit and miss, but none of them are underperforming. And if they were, we saw with Kulusevski, he wasn't great when Doherty got injured. Those couple of games, took him out, stuck on Lucas. Didn't work with Lucas, put Kulusevski on, and it gave him the kick up the arse that he needed. And he came on and got a goal and an assist. I think it was the Leicester game, was it, that he came on? So, yeah, we owe a huge debt to Conte, and he looks happy. And that's the main thing. Him and Kane look very happy. And let's look ahead to Norwich now. Before we finish up, they are our final game of the season. They are already relegated, and they have a 23 points. I'm going to go down to their league position. They're on 22 points and a minus 56 goal difference. They drew with Wolves last time out, but they lost at least their previous 4 games, which included getting spanked by West Ham at 4-0 at home as well. So let's go, Davo, you first. We can't balls this up, can we? We've got to turn up, and Sonny is looking to get that golden boot. Even we can't screw this up, can't we? Tell me, please.
Well, I was reading Ian Wright, who I do love as a pundit. I think he's great. Yeah. You know, I really do. I know he's a big old gooner. We've all sung songs about him and booed him over the years at North London derbies. However, he said it would be the most Spursiest of Spursiest if we balls this one up. And it really would be. Okay. I think Pukki's top scorer of 11 goals. You know, I think Dean Smith was an appointment with more on an eye of getting them back up next season. And that's why they brought him in. I think that, we just need to turn up and do a professional job. None of this, and I'm sure it won't happen. If we get a penalty, give it to Son so he can score. We've got to sew the game up and do it professionally. And I just hope that, the hope is that we don't do something stupid and someone gets sent off early doors, or I'm just thinking of any other things that could possibly go wrong. The coach goes the wrong way.
A lightning strike or hits Hugo.
There's
lasagna I've been meal.
The mustard from Delia.
Yeah, on the lasagna point, I would have those boys at Spurs Lodge all week. I wouldn't let them go anywhere into the outside world, no fear of COVID, anything like that. I'd just put them in a bubble, a Champions League qualifying bubble for the week. Don't talk to anyone, don't go anywhere, and that's it. That's what I'd do. But then I'm a bit mad. And then, look, on paper, we should do this. We should win, okay? This is the type of game that we go and we win, and that's it. But as we know, we beat Man City, great performance, and contributed to one of Burnley's 7 wins of the season 3 days later. So, but I just think that, the Burnley game, I think I was still unclenching my buttocks after the last 10 minutes of that one. We had a 62-hour turnaround. We did the job. And we were focused on task, and we didn't get carried away from the fact that we smashed the Gooners a few days before. So I think we're looking for the same again. We've gone too far, and I think with the characters in that squad, your Hugos, your Kanes, I think we should do it. And just one shout out, we talk about players improved. I think Højbjerg, who I'm not the world's biggest fan of, the last couple of weeks, I thought he's played really well. I thought he had an excellent game against Burnley, for example. A lot of tired legs, and he was there front and centre.
Yeah, on Højbjerg, I saw a stat recently that he's 3rd in the league for interceptions behind Rodri and someone else who I've forgotten. I remember seeing, but yeah, he has come on, and he does the work that doesn't always get noticed, and we can pick on him for his distribution and not really seeing a pass, but his work rate's excellent, and like I said, 3rd in the league in interceptions behind Rodri and someone else. Paul, how are you feeling ahead of Norwich?
Optimistically confident. I think we've got a week to prepare, which is always good according to the stats, and also it's quite clear that we play quite well with a week between the games, which might be a bit difficult next season, obviously, because we might be playing twice a week. Anyway, Norwich, Pukki's got 11, as Dave said, and the next one is I think it's their centre back
Sargent with 2.
Sargent, and then McLean, and then Tilas and Rashika. They haven't scored much. Yeah, they've got a terrible goal difference, but it's like, and I hate the phrase. It's like Spursy, Dr. Spurs will see you now, etc. But I can only echo what Davo said. We've come too far. I think mindset and mentality is a bit of a cliche getting thrown around by people like me, for example. But we've definitely become stronger as a unit. We don't give up. We don't panic. We don't hoof it forward looking for a goal. Loads of people saying calm down. Not only Højbjerg, but there's a lot of people saying pointing to their foreheads, think, focus. That's different from even when we're at the beginning of the season when we were playing City and we were on the crest of a new season and we weren't too sure it was Kane. There's a lot of emotion going around, a lot of kind of hair of scarum tactics, booting it for But now we're a completely different entity now. I don't see much going wrong at the weekend. I really don't, which in a weird way worries me slightly, but we'll see.
Spoken like a true Spurs fan.
It's years of abuse, years of being a Spurs fan. That bring it on. It brings it on, And it was Declan Rice, the other player I was trying to think of. So first was Rodri, second Declan Rice, third Højbjerg. So fair play to him. Sean, any Norwich players that give you the jitters? Anyone in there? I mean, Pukki, as we said, is their top scorer, but like we've all said, we've improved immensely. Certainly defensively under Conte, we're just much harder to beat. So, anyone in there that scares you, or you're confident?
There's only one guy, but they sold him to Bournemouth in January, so we're not going to worry about Cantwell now. Let's take a look at it before we started. They've 21 or 22 goals they've scored, and half of them are Pookie. Nobody else has more than 2. Basically, if you stop Pookie and score more than 2 goals, it's pretty much guaranteed. And like you say, Son would like that golden boot. I think they would like to get it for him.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be feeding him the ball left, right, and center. And I think this, to me, shows the growth and the leadership of Harry Kane. Kane would love to score 3 goals and win the game 3-0. But if he had 3 assists and Son scored 3 goals and got the golden boot, I think he'd be just as happy or happier, because we've accomplished the goal and he's done something to help a teammate. And I think that's, for me, the mark of him as the leader now of the team. And hopefully soon they'll finally realize, maybe make him the captain. You're muted, Brendan.
Yeah, no, yeah. Sorry about that. Right. So we were fairly confident. Let's get predictions then. Start with you, Davo. What do you think the score will be Sunday at Carrow Road?
2-0 Tottenham.
2-0. Good stuff. Sean?
3-0. 2 by Son, 1 by Kane. Son wins the golden boot.
Like it. Oh, how are Rangers doing, by the way, Sean?
1-1. We're in extra time.
Okay. Mr. Muir, what's the prediction from you?
I was going to go 3-0, but I'll go 4-0. I think 2 early goals, and then it's I think we'll get it done 4-0.
Oh, see,
I will go with Son with 2. I will go with Kuzeski with 1, and then Son with 1. Yeah, so all front 3 players will get a goal to finish off a good season.
Cool. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, normally I don't like predicting confidently and predicting big wins, but Norwich, they're not going to do a Burnley. That's not their style. They don't sit back. They like to play with the ball on the ground, and that they'll give us space. I can see us getting a few goals. So, I reckon 3-0, and I'll buy some Coleman's mustard when I'm over in June to say thank you to Delia and the boys. Quick roundup. We would like to say that we weren't invited to the stadium yesterday by Nike Football. I just noticed that a few other content providers were. So fuck you, Nike Football. Unless, of course, you want to invite us next year, when we'd happily take you up and take some free Nike stuff and play on the pitch, like our friends Majestic and Gaza did, and Abby Summers and the We Are Tottenham TV boys. It looked great fun. So fair play to our friends that were there. We hope to be there next year. And also a quick update on Sandro. Thing is, right, I got a message from Sandro today. It's not just me messaging him. I know you think that I badger Sandro. He messaged me today because the team went down on the weekend.
I was going to say, it wasn't a restraining order, was it?
It's like, stop calling me. No, he's like, oh, because he wants to come to see a Spurs game with the Cheese Room crowd. So he said, look, like, he's talking next year. I don't think it'll be any time this year. He said, oh no, I've got 2 wife.
Fuck you, Nike. We've got Sandro.
Exactly. So next year at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, do look out for us bringing Sandro to a game. He'll be sitting with us. He'll be eating a pie. He won't be doing the fancy seats. He'll be watching a game with everyone else, and he loves Tottenham still, and so he wants to send his best, and he's very happy that we've got this opportunity for Champions League. Right.
Any other celebrity mates that you want to tell us about, Brendan?
Are you suggesting that I like to name drop?
Well, you and Caller are just inveterate name droppers. Franco, in a way, when he hosts, he's a bit more humble that way. He doesn't talk about who he's met down Stratford High Street when he's posting off all the Cheese Room merch around the world. Franco does the work. He doesn't do it for the glamour, does he, Paul?
Franco's the engine room, while the other people up front like take all the plaudits.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh man!
Props to Franco, as you like to say, Paul. Yeah?
Props to Franco. We love you, Franco.
Props to Franco.
Props. And and he's still got COVID. He was going to join us tonight, but he still feeling a bit knackered with the COVID. So get well soon, Franco. We're all thinking of you, mate. And you better be on for Sunday, because I can't pod Sunday.
And Brendan, just to finish off, your more links of Paulo Dybala today.
Yeah. What are we feeling about that one? Paul, no?
No, I'm not feeling that at all. I didn't feel it before when we couldn't get his third-party image rights worked out, or whatever what the excuse was. I would take a body swerve and a pass on that. Thanks very much. Wow.
Apparently Roma are in for him or into another Italian team. He's definitely going. He was crying his eyes out. Like, we're Latin American lot. We always love a bit of a cry. But Davo, would you take him?
So you're saying you're Latin American, are you?
Yeah. I've been in 16 years. I'm pretty Brazilian by now, yeah.
Right, okay. Interesting.
I'm not in my speedo.
Is he... Oh God! I thought we'd get through. one pod or so. We nearly made it before Ray Winston and Sexy Beast gives its mirage in front of us.
Here, son.
Once again, Dirty DD and all the rest. Dybala, is he not another injury-prone Argentinian? Really? Yeah. I mean, his goal rate is not too bad at Juventus, but they are like, the team. I mean, he could end up going to Inter because there's all this talk about Martinez going, and I'd like to get Martinez in. That would be a great signing and a statement signing to get him in. So Dybala, I think he's a bit injury prone, flatters to deceive, but ultimately it's down to Mr. Conte. If he thinks he can do a job for us, then that's good. I know Levy's attraction to the scouting is it's free. But Conte's got to be the one that says, yeah, I want him and take it from there. But at the end of the day, no, I'm not. I think that I was excited about him until, of course, those media rights came into view. And yet again, another last-minute signing didn't go ahead. But we've moved on now 3 years, I think. So I think, no, pass for me.
Are we waiting for Bale to return? Because that one keeps popping up again, too.
Oh, do you want another rant?
Well, it's the thing. It's like every time he runs down the country, he's going back. He's going back to England. He's going back to England. Then it all pops up. He's going back to Tottenham.
He should go to Cardiff. He should take a salary cut or do a deal where part of his salary is donated to local causes. He's opening up these golf bars in Bristol and the West Country. Good luck with that. He's having planning issues with the local council, apparently. So you should speak to Levy about that. He's good at land management. And he should go to Cardiff, play till November, then retire. No more Bale, please. I've done the rant. I'm not doing another one on that.
Oh, no. I'd take Bale over Dybala. Well, I did see today that we were with John McGinn. So someone tweeted, with Dybala's face and John McGinn's arse would be the sexiest club in the world. It's got a big
John McGinn's backside.
Yeah. Is it John McGlynn? The Aston Villa guy?
The Scottish guy at Villa.
Yeah.
We've been connected with him.
Yeah. Him and Dybala were the rumours today.
So Bentancur, Højbjerg, a returning skip. Okay, I know he's young. Pepe Mate Sarr, and then John McGinn.
And Winks goes.
And then Winks goes.
But Winks goes.
Yeah, no, not having John McGinn. No chance.
Sorry. If Leeds go down, and no, it's not going to happen, but they will go down. If Leeds go down, I'd like to get Calvin Phillips.
He'll go to Man United. Yeah. He'll go to Man United.
But is he not a Leeds boy, born and bred? Would he do that? Yeah. I know Cantona's gone there. Gordon McQueen,
Adam Smith as well.
Alan Smith, yeah. But would he really go there? Do you think?
Probably.
I think if you can't get Rice, the next best thing after that is him, and I think a lot of clubs will be in for him. Especially if Chelsea can't get Rice away from somewhere like West Ham. And obviously, Conor Gallagher's probably going to go back to Chelsea as well. And I like Gallagher. I think Gallagher's got a high ceiling that he can play at now. I think, Phillips will go there and they'll sell Fred or McTominay with Matic going as well. And that'll be a Phillips-sized hole for him to go. And they'll pay big wage for him. They'll pay a lot of money for him.
See, I know this is controversial, and I've just contradicted myself. I'd sell Højbjerg to Man United and get in Phillips. I know it's not going to happen. I'd do that.
No, that won't happen.
The problem with trying to get Phillips is you want to try and get him before somebody signs Rice. Levy can't do anything fast. If we had somebody who could do it fast, then you could probably get Phillips while Man United and everybody else are going after Rice. But this is Levy, and it'll take him 6 weeks, and by the time it gets almost to where the contract signs, it'll be the same thing as as Diaz, and his agent will be talking to everybody else and going, "Hey, Tottenham's about to sign him. Do you want him?"
So on the striking situation, if we're not going for Dybala, who are we looking at? So Martinez, we talked about. Sean, you seen any rumors?
I don't think Martinez is going. The last I heard that he was staying.
Okay.
You know what we should? You know what we should do for a laugh? Nketiah's contract's up in the summer.
See, I think he's all right. England under 21s, under 18s. Watched a bit of him as well. I think Nketiah's all right. He worked hard. He didn't drop his head. He does make good, intelligent runs. He's a little bit raw, but give him kind of like 10, 12 games when like Kane is either rested or possibly out, whatever, and play him next to us between Son and another on the other side, Kulusevski or like Stevie B if he's still here. Then I think Nketiah could grow. I wouldn't mind Nketiah. I really wouldn't. Controversial opinion, but I think he's all right. I think
it would never happen. It would never, especially given the like, assuming everything goes to plan and we pip them to Champions League this season. The fuck, you thought that with Judas there was a backlash. Imagine the backlash him going this way. Like,
but he's a free agent. He'll be a free agent in the summer.
He's still Gooner though. He's still a Gooner. Like when was it the last one? Was Gallas?
We took Gallas, and Gallas was superb for us. I'll have nothing said about it. Gallas in the Champions League for us was absolutely superb.
Yeah. Gallas did a great job. I really like Gallas.
And I think Nketiah is kind of a little pissed off that they haven't really given him a chance until now. They've kind of set him back. They haven't really given him a lot of playing time. So if you can guarantee him some playing time, why not? And you can throw Champions League football at him, because this is going to be the big thing for, you look at Martinez, Smith Rowe, and Saka and the rest of them. If they don't have Champions League football, you got to think who else in Europe is going to come floating around looking after those guys, dangling European football in front of them. And that's the one thing that we can do with Nketiah is dangle that in front of him.
Saka will leave them in 2 or 3 seasons. He'll go to Liverpool as a Salah replacement. He'll go to Liverpool for a Salah replacement. I can see it. If you want to win stuff, Arsenal is not. Odegaard as a captain doesn't work. Emil Smith-Rowe's had a pretty lousy season. I know it's been interrupted by injuries, but your Sakas, Emil Smith-Rowe when he's back fully fit, and these guys as well. They'll be leaving that team in the next 2 or 3 years to go to a Liverpool or a City or a Newcastle, maybe.
But do you know why they're going to leave though? Because Arsenal will get battered everywhere they go.
Everywhere they go.
All right, let's wrap up on that one, lads. Great speaking with you, Davo. Good chatting with you, mate.
Always lovely to start the day with a bit of podding and talking to cheeseheads, and yet another Levy rant. My day is beginning nicely. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
Love it, mate. Love it. Sean, good chatting, man.
Good chatting, guys. Talk to you all soon.
Paul, good chatting, same as ever.
Always, mate. Looking forward to seeing you over the summer.
Yes, mate. Yes, I'll be there in July. So cheeseheads, do look out for the YouTube, which will be out Friday night, I believe, from Caller and the Gang, and the pod, which will be out on Sunday from Franco and the Gang. I may be in either or neither of them. We just don't know because we're so organised. And do follow us wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe to us, etc., etc. And as ever, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs!
Come on, you Spurs!